If you want the best altcoins to buy right now for some big juicy gains because Bitcoin is about to go on an epic bender to 100K plus, well, you came to the right place because I'm going to give you 14 amazing big daddy coins to buy right now that are on the brink of making explosive gains. Let's get into it. Hey guys, before we get started, I just wanted to offer you access to my exclusive Wolfpack Discord group that's now based on WAP. Basically what you're gonna get in here is something I call the Quantum Cipher Report. This allows you to steal and copy all of my trades and learn my exact trading system. Every Monday, I'm gonna give you the best crypto altcoin picks that are getting ready for explosive moves. I'm also going to give you the best trade setups in Forex, futures, and CFDs as well. You have to be a multi-asset trader if you truly want to take advantage of the entire trading environment as a whole. Not only that, you're going to get access to the Discord, all of my courses, over 30 hours of recorded educational content, in addition to my Trading View degenerate indicators. Okay, so if you want access to my WAP, there's going to be a link below. Join the Wolfpack and get all of the best trading picks in crypto, Forex, and futures sent to you every Monday. On top of that, 30 hours of educational content so you can learn my entire system, all for one low monthly price. I'll see you there. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. First and foremost, let's just take a look and tell you exactly where we are in the market cycle of crypto. If we look at Bitcoin, all right, we are in what is known as the phase 3 force pattern, where price is retesting ATH and we're getting ready for a massive juicy gain to the upside. If we look back here at the weekly chart on Bitcoin, what is that? That is a phase 3 force pattern, getting ready to go monumentally explosive. If we look at the actual chart here and even just measure the measured move of this actual breakout here, that's basically pushing us just shy of about 100,000. Okay, so we can expect that we're probably going to push to anywhere plus or minus 10,000 around 100,000 on an impulse move. That'll probably happen relatively quick. What happens after that, who fucking knows? Okay, all we need to know is that once the 50-day moving average breaks, typically in market cycles of crypto, we then see a 700 to 300-day decline, 70-90%, which then returns to what we call the revival pattern breakout. Lead-in trend is bearish, followed by a flat top breakout pattern. We can see that exact pattern happening here on Bitcoin, which broke out above 30K, led to the next run up, and now we have the force pattern. Ethereum is actually in a different stage of its cycle. Okay, we did see the lead-in trend back here, revival pattern breakout that did trigger in sync with Bitcoin, but then Bitcoin did break down the 50-day moving average right around here, and rather than it eating shit, it kind of traded sideways while ETH BTC absolutely ate it. Altcoins ate it 70 to 80, 90%. We literally went into a bear market across the board with altcoins. But right now, if we look at most altcoins and Ethereum, you can see we are in fact yet again in a revival pattern breakout. Now we are still pre-breakout, so there still is time to be buying within this zone of weekly demand and the neckline breakout prior to this actually pumping up to the upside, as well as almost all the other altcoins that I'm in are in a similar pattern. Some of them have already ripped, of which we did take advantage of, and now they're just way beyond these actual patterns. You can see Super here broke out above its revival pattern that we are trading actively, and then just went from here 80 cents all the way up to $1.40. Similar with Tau, same exact pattern. These were early breakout patterns of the actual revival pattern breakout. This happened at 360, went all the way to 682, about a double there on Tau. But now we have a lot of other coins that are now still down in this phase, really aligning with Ethereum. So let's talk about all those coins. So anyways, guys, this is the Quantum Cipher Report. This is something I send out every Monday to my Wolfpack Discord group, right down in the link below on WAP. Basically, what I do here is give you guys preemptive trade alerts. They're not trade alerts where you're scrambling to find out what exactly I did and why. I give you these alerts way ahead of time. So just for an example, 1,000 CAT, something that actually triggered live last night. You can see here, price is way above where I'm actually looking to enter. And I say, hey guys, I will be buying this if we dip back into this demand zone. Okay, and this is about a week in advance of before the trade ever actually triggering. While most people are going to give you on-the-fly alerts, and you're scrambling to find out what the hell I'm even talking about, and then you're asking yourself, is it still a good time to buy? No, it's not a good time to fucking buy. You're already too late. which is why I give these things out way ahead of time. So first and foremost, let's just take a look at CAT because that was created as an alert on 10/22. Today is 10/29. I was looking to buy that demand, and CAT is just getting started. I think this definitely has a lot of upside potential. We can see price came down into this demand zone here on the daily chart. This is a recent and new actual meme coin, came into resistance here. Now we have a neckline breakout formation and a potential ascending trend that's getting ready to form with a new higher low right here. Now, as long as price stays in this zone between the neckline breakout and the daily demand zone here, I think this is going to be in a great area to be buying into. And if this breaks out above this neckline, this is what going to be. This is going to be what we call a kryptonite breakout. And I do believe this could easily be a double from here, which would be about 0.000008 cents, which would actually be from the current price, actually, or my entry, would be about a 150% gain from our entry because we are in a little bit earlier than we are now at the current price. But overall, 1000 CAT, I love this. This is an all-time high breakout, getting ready to get started. Love the chart. Next one here is 1000 Turbo. If you watched my last video last week about this, I said, hey guys, if price comes down anywhere in this zone between about $9 and $8, I think this is going to be a solid dip buying opportunity. This became an alert today. Actually, we did get long, and if you look at 1000 Turbo now, it did pull back a little bit off its highs, but we can see it coming out of that daily demand. Now, this is not the best candle right there, but we still have about 12 hours of price action left. We'll see how this actually plays out. But overall, as long as this remains above about 790, I'm still very bullish as it's retesting that all-time high breakout. This is going to be a very strong zone to find support and then consolidate and then rip to all-time highs from here, potentially upwards of $20 per share. We're also all the way down here in the fear territory, so there's a lot of upside potential for the fear and greed indicator to get back into greed before it's time to start selling this for profits. Next chart here is AIOZ. This was just recently alerted yesterday. I said, hey guys, once we're coming back down into this demand zone, this is a primo buying opportunity with a price target upwards of 90 to $1.05. with a revival pattern breakout triggering in about 55 cents. So anywhere in this zone right here, I think is a strong buying opportunity. Obviously, we got in at a premium price down here at about 39 cents. We can look today, AIOZ actually just went on fire, currently up 13% off that level. So right now, we are preemptively in there at a very, very good price. I do think anywhere in between 55 and 39 is a good buying opportunity because the actual breakout trigger is at about 55 cents, which would then send this thing potentially up to the next resistance zones, about 89 cents to $1.05. From there, who knows what's going to happen? It could just consolidate and then turn into a potential force pattern, right? This could come up here, come back down, create a higher low, and then a breakout of a force pattern at all-time highs. And that's just a trade for another day, right? We'll see what happens. But right now, we are in at an extremely good price off of a demand level on AIOZ. Next chart up here is People. This was also part of the meme coin picks that I talked about last week. If this came down into daily demand, I definitely wanted to buy it, and that is exactly what happened on People. Now up 10%, came down into daily demand. We got long here. It did slightly dip below my level, a little bit lower than I wanted to go. But if we look at fear and greed, we are deep in the fear territory. So there's a lot of upside potential for this to push back up into greed before we start selling. There's a neckline breakout triggered about 0.09 cents. If that breaks out, we could easily pump to about 15 cents and retest ATH, which is about 96% above the actual entry price that we got in. So overall, this is still pre-breakout above 0.09. So anywhere in that zone, I still think is a strong buying opportunity before it potentially breaks out above this level. Next up is KMNO, Camino. This is a kryptonite force pattern breakout above ATH. Now, if it gets over these levels here at about 0.10 to about 0.105, this thing could absolutely shred faces. Right now, if we look at it, it's not doing what I want it to do because it is pulling back slightly. Okay, but as long as it holds this demand level, right? We got in right here. I was hoping to just shred through, but we did see that big pullback in alts this last few days after the Tether FUD news, but we're holding daily demand. Also the ATH level here at about 10.5. If this breaks out above this level, there's really no resistance above here, so this thing could just absolutely shred and fly. So right now, as long as it holds above 0.008, I think between the daily demand level and about 10.8, this is a strong buying opportunity before it actually breaks out. And as long as it holds a trend after that breakout, you can continue holding this thing because there's really no telling how high this can go. This is KMNO. Next up is Zeta, Z-E-T-A. Similar pattern. This is in a revival after a lead-in trend. As you can see, guys, altcoins went into a full bear market while Bitcoin remained near ATH and traded sideways. Altcoins went into a full-blown bear market followed by a phase one revival pattern breakout across the board on all these charts. Here, we are looking for a retest, a retracement into weekly demand so we could buy that dip. That's exactly what happened here on ZETA. You can see price came down into those levels. It's still kind of hovering in this zone. So as long as it holds this weekly demand level with the lows about 52 cents and stays between the 78.7 cents, we're just coiling up here for the potential actual breakout above the neckline about 77. If that happens, first target's obviously going to be about $1, just a psychological level. But if that shreds through, this could easily pump towards $2 per coin on this actual chart. Overall, this is a beautiful looking chart, but it's really got to sustain itself and then break out above the neckline. Just 1 second there, guys. You're probably wondering, where can you trade all of these altcoins? There's this new broker called Blowfin, and it's actually a little bit mind-blowing because not only do they have all the best altcoins to trade that you would see on your major exchanges, they also have a huge list of coins that aren't at the major exchanges. And it's sometimes those little nitty-gritty degenerate coins that have the biggest ROI and the biggest returns. Okay, so this is actually the platform. You can go into futures or trading spot. I trade both futures and spot, but it's actually a really, really sleek platform with a shitload of actual coins to trade on here to choose from. Okay, and that's one of the biggest hurdles that a lot of people face is they don't have the coins that they want to trade. Blowfin has one of the widest array of altcoins to trade in both spot and futures. Another major thing about it is that there's no KYC registration required to actually trade, deposit, and withdraw on your account. That is one of the biggest hurdles for most traders out there. And so that is where Blowfin kind of stands out above the rest. Not only does it have a huge variety of coins, there's also no KYC required. So use my link below to get access to Blowfin. I promise you it's going to be a really good experience. And I do really like the platform, especially since there's so many variety of altcoins to trade. What are we trying to do? We're trying to find all the best opportunities. Check out Blowfin below. Again, all of these trades that I'm alerting you guys right now are still pre-breakout within these formations. So there still is time to get in. You're not basically chasing the boat. So many people are always like, is this still a good time to buy? Still a good time to buy? But they usually ask me that after it's fucking up here. And I'm like, dude, we bought down here. No, it's not a good fucking time to buy up here. You stop, move on. You missed it. Wait until next year because you just missed this train. So as long as we're still pre-breakout, these are still good buying opportunities. But the higher you buy in this breakout, it's harder to manage the risk because you still need a stop somewhere below demand. And if you're buying up here, you have to have a pretty wide range of a stop. So it's important that you're buying into demand so you can have a tighter stop, which allows you to have a higher RR if and when price does actually break out above these levels. Next up is PolyX. This chart is not looking as good due to the fact that after the Tether FUD came out, although it did look great right here, after the Tether news came out that they're saying we're maybe getting investigated, which turns out potentially to be false, fake news, we did see a liquidation on a bunch of the altcoins and it actually damaged the chart quite a bit. So it's still holding itself together right now, but I don't like it. I don't like it when we see these damaged charts like this. So this one, while it still has potential, I'm not going to lie, it's not looking as good as it was, right? It's still holding weekly demand, but look at this stupid fucking candle. This is why I hate altcoins. Altcoins are so dumb with these massive fucking liquidation candles that just come out of nowhere where it's like instant 20% in seconds and just sweeps everyone's stops, okay? And it destroys the chart. It really does destroy the chart. So as of right now, it's still holding demand. We can actually redraw this trend line down here because it is a new low and still making a higher low here. But if we look at this higher low, lower low, higher low, higher low, this is now a lower low, right? So in essence, that does kind of shift market structure to bearishness due to the fact that these lows were taken out. So unfortunately, it's not as good as it was, but it is still holding weekly demand. And if it does break out above the neckline breakout, this can still skyrocket just like all the other patterns that we're going to be discussing in today's video. The next one is 1,000 Mu Mu, MUMUU. Now this screenshot is not going to load because it was actually a screenshot from my Discord chat, but we can see exactly what this chart is looking like right now. And it's looking nice and juicy. Now, 1,000 Mu Mu, we did buy in down here initially at this demand level and then rode this thing all the way up. We were up nicely. Then, of course, the tether news came out and then just slammed this thing all the way back down. Now, it is still holding daily demand. We also have the ascending trend forming. And so while this is disappointing that it didn't get a follow through on the breakout, that's just the nature of the game. We had some FUD news come out that basically kind of halted all the momentum across the board on altcoins. But now Ethereum, Bitcoin are back in action looking good again. So as long as we hold daily demand and we're still trending in between demand and the ATH here, we could easily form up another pattern that then breaks all-time highs and this absolutely shreds faces, easy going up to about 0.10, which is about 88% above the current price of where we are actually long right now. So also fear and greed still down here. So a lot of room for this to go up into a greed territory before it's really time to start thinking about considering the lock-in profits and selling this. Next up is Beam. Good old Beam, right? We are waiting for this to come into weekly demand to create a revival breakout pattern that triggers at about 0.02. If we look at the chart right now, we are up nicely on this. But again, this is still pre-breakout, still has yet to actually come into fruition. So as long as Beam remains between weekly demand and the neckline breakout, this is a premium buying opportunity prior to the actually anticipation of the breakout. Next resistance levels are going to be about 0.03 and then ATH at about 0.044. So overall, I think this is about an easy 50 to 100% gainer potential. Once it reaches ATH, who knows what's going to happen? I'll probably reevaluate the trade. But one thing you have to know is that I will be locking in gains along the way on all these positions. I don't hodl. I fucking dump on everyone's faces while they're going to hodl. I will sell my shit. I will walk away with profits and, I will have no shame. I do not give a fuck about any of these coins. I'm here to make money and walk away. I could care fucking less about the tech or the culture of any of this. I'm here to make money off of chart patterns. That is 100% it. Mu, the next one, MEW. Beautiful, beautiful kryptonite breakout, pre-breakout on MEW. A recent meme. This is ATH getting broken here. This is us getting in prior to it actually breaking out. MEW is now actually ripping all-time highs. It is having a somewhat of a consolidation phase here, but we are already up pretty nicely as we are in way down here, I believe about 0.0065, and we are up nicely. I still think this has a lot of upside potential as it's retesting the actual breakout zone here today and still finding momentum. It is a little bit, overbought territory. We can even look at the degenerate shift. It is having multiple sell signals, but if Ethereum actually goes on its run, if Ethereum breaks out above this neckline and actually breaks out above this descending trend, we're going to see a monumental move on Ethereum, which will trigger a monumental move across the board on all altcoins. So as long as you're positioned in some of these altcoins, you will make money. Just matters which ones are going to be the most explosive. And for me, I look for the patterns that are preparing to be the most explosive. I don't buy into something that's already parabolic, already on the move. I look for ones that are preparing to be explosive, because when things do trigger, that's when you're going to see the big gains on the chart patterns that are set up by design to actually be explosive, because just the physical nature of the volume when these resistance levels breaks, that's when you see short squeezes of shorts getting stopped out, as well as new buyers coming in, right? So it's just the logic and science behind the physics of actually how charts and supply and demand work, and that's how I trade. Next up is Ondo, ONDO, my friends. We are looking for a dip into weekly demand on this actual chart. Again, these are highly preemptive alerts, right? I don't alert saying, hey, buy now, buy now, buy now. I say, hey, if price comes into this, then and only then I will consider buying this. And if we look at Ondo, Again, this chart did get slightly damaged by that liquidation, right? Look at this big, nasty candle. That's just fucking nasty. Fucking hate it. But overall, still in a revival pattern, still holding weekly demand, as long as it's in between weekly demand and these lows about 0.0264, as well as the neckline about 0.82. As long as we consolidate in this zone, we're still looking very bullish, and it's still a decent buying opportunity. Fear and greed has still got a lot of room to the upside to potentially go into a greed territory before you have any need to be considered selling. As again, if this breaks it above 83 to about 87, then we should see a nice spike to the upside, potentially upwards of $1.50 to retest ATH. Next up is YGG. Similar pattern here, guys, just a revival pattern breakout. Again, all these are in this pattern. The end of the cycle, long-term downward trend followed by a revival pattern breakout, and that's typically the signal of a next massive leg up. And this is where you see the big gains. And if we look at what we're actually looking at here, YGG, that is exactly what pattern we're looking at here on YGG. We can see lead-in trend, highly bearish, coming in, flat top breakout, ascending trend, continuing to have higher lows. Weekly demand is holding. The neckline breakout here at about 58 cents. If that breaks out, we're easily going to about $1.12. ATH is much higher at about $1.75. Next up is NTRN. Again, beautiful pattern coming back down into weekly demand for us to buy that dip for the next leg up into weekly supply at about 80 cents. If we look at the actual chart now, this one also was a bit damaged by the actual news of Tether. We can see that big liquidation selling candle, but it went right into weekly demand where we found a lot of buyers. And now we have a lot of upside potential before we even get back to the neckline, right? That's 52 cents. Current price is about 38 cents. So we still have about another 40%, 36% before we even retest this neckline. So we'll see what happens here. Weekly demand is holding, but there's a lot of upside potential here. And then if we go all the way up into the next weekly supply zone, that's about 115% gain potential just on a short-term move. And we're not even close to ATH. An ATH move on NTRN is about another 435%. So there is a lot of upside potential, but I don't think that far ahead. I like to lock in my gains. I'm looking more at a short-term gain, about 116%, and then I'll reevaluate the trade from there. Last and not least, guys, is Hi-Fi. Again, revival breakout pattern coming into weekly demand. It did, in fact, have a breakout, but again, the Tether news came out right after that happened, dumped all the altcoins right back into a demand zone of which it's holding. So it needs to hold this level of about 44 cents or even this low here, which is the higher low. So as long as that holds, you can even drag this down right here to about 42 and a half. As long as these lows are held and we actually continue ascending trending, I definitely think this is still a bullish chart. This one is definitely a little bit more sloppy, right? We had the false breakout there. Now we don't have a clean breakout, but overall, if alts run, I think Hi-Fi has potential to run. But again, this is much less cleaner, right? It's already been sloppy. It tried to break out, but just due to the nature of timing of when that news came out, it really just kind of destroyed the momentum there. And now it's going to have a secondary round two with a little bit sloppier breakout. Next resistance is going to be about 90 cents. But anyways, guys, that is a wrap for today. Those are all the altcoins that I'm in, right? That's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 altcoins. I'm long all of these. If you want to get the weekly Quantum Cipher report sent to you inside of the Discord, you also get access to all of my indicators. You get Degenerate Trend, Zenjig Trend, Degenerate Shift, and Fear and Greed, all included. In addition to that, all of my courses are all included, which will explain everything in detail about this exact cycle and exactly how to trade all of these patterns. It's in my WAP, limited time, $97 a month. It's absolutely fucking crazy that I'm even doing that. Anyways, guys, take advantage of this because these cycles, they only come and go every once in a while, and the cycle ends, and then it's time to fuck off and go trade Forex and other coins, or we trade supply and demand on the way down. But we will certainly not be buying and hodling and trading breakouts when the 50-day moving average breaks, okay? That is where everyone continues to lose money as they continue to try to use bull market strategies when the bull market is over. So once you see the bull market is over, you must acknowledge that or you're going to lose everything. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.